YouTube, what's the deal with y'all, man? I know y'all see the things going on here at Big Cap FX. You know the deal. No cap, just capital. We got the new office. We got the new merch. I'm looking real official. I'm really back up so y'all can really get a full understanding of what's going on over here. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, everything's been going well. Views is up. Subscribers is up. FTMO challenge has started, so I will be uploading that. But before we even get into anything, I gotta ask you guys to drop a like, drop a comment, and if you're new, you gotta subscribe. The content gonna be amazing. You see the video quality getting better. Look at my lighting setup, man. Everything's just gonna get better and better. It's only my first month here at YouTube. But today, guys, we're coming at you with a weekly analysis video. Just put my little prediction as to what I think will be going on in the Forex markets this week. I'm gonna go on the trading view and pull up all my charts, run through them, mark them up live with you guys. I didn't do anything in advance, so this is all gonna be raw and uncut. And we just staying ready, so we're gonna have to get ready next week, and then next week everything should be smooth. We already have our game plan ready to go. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of those videos for people who really want to learn how to mark up the charts, or at least how I mark up my charts. There's millions of ways to do it. But yeah, man, that's enough talking. We're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. All right, guys, so what I ended up doing was just going through the charts and picking out the ones that looked the best to me, just so that I wasn't going through every single pair, good or bad. And yeah, we're going to get things started off here with AUDCAD. So if you guys don't know, I do start off on the daily chart, already there. And I use the daily chart to find my trend, so just figuring out what the chart is doing. So as you can see, we are in an uptrend, which means we'll be taking buys, buying the uptrend, selling a downtrend. So just so you guys have a clear understanding, when I do stuff like this, the green is the profit, the red is my negative. So I go here and zoom in to the 4 hour just to figure out where I could possibly get an entry in. And because I do trade break and retest, I wait for levels to be broken and then come back down, retest, and get in. So actually, if you see right here, we've had a level be broken. These highs were broken here. And as you see, it's actually already kind of broken, retested, and taken off. So what I'll be doing now is just looking for an entry on the 1 hour. But before I do that, I want to go and figure out what I'm aiming to move up towards the next level. So the next level above this one here would be either here, or if I zoom out onto the daily chart, next level is here. So the reason I say that, just so everyone has a clear understanding, we have it bounce here as support, and then it couldn't break above here as resistance. So I'll actually turn this a different color just so you guys can see. So yeah, bounced here, resisted here. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for next. I believe this one I'll move up just a tad bit right there, just because we have it resist here and we have it resist here. So now I'm going to move down to my hour chart and zoom in so that we can see what the chart is doing. So this would have been the ideal entry for it to break, retest, get in here, and then everything else above would have been profit. But because we didn't get in there, now we're just going to be looking to see what the chart does. Maybe it'll come back down and test one more time, or maybe what I'll have to do is just go to the 15-minute chart and see what's going on. Wait for a break, a retest of maybe this level. So I'm going to go ahead and put my entry here. Once it can break and retest that level, I think we're good to go. And because we already have our targets, now we need to figure out how far down this trade can go before we realize that it's no longer good for buys. So typically what I do is I stick to 2 levels of resistance or support being broken. So the first one would be this one, second would be here. So if it can come way down here, then we just have no business being in this trade anymore. I'll actually put it right about there. So this one, a little bit below that one. So if it can break that level, like I said, I will no longer be looking to take buys, just because that'd be such a far push down. And I'm just going to extend my target to take profit 1. So take profit 1 has a risk reward ratio of 1.46, meaning that if I'm risking $100, I would make $146. So being that we are on the FTMO account, we know that that's $1,460 for take profit 1. I'm gonna put my second entry, same stop loss, and take profit 2 is right there. And with that one, we have a risk reward of 2.7. All right, so now we're here on AUD NZD, and as you can see, all I've done is just went ahead and marked up the fact that we are now in a downtrend. And because of this, I'm actually only going to be taking one of these trades. So just a key with me is that if multiple pairs, so like AUD, if all the AUD pairs are doing different things, I'm only going to look to take one of those positions. So I'm not going to have a buy and a sell running. So if the buy lines up, then I'll go with that. But if the sell ends up lining up and looking like the better trade, then I'll go with that. But yeah, man, same process. So I'm on the daily chart. I got my trend found. And now I just got to go in and look for my entries. So I was watching this at the end of last week. But with FTMO, you can't hold trades over the weekend. So I just had to miss the initial entry. And that was the case with AUD CAD. Just didn't make sense to start that trade on a Friday or even on a Thursday, knowing that it was going to take longer than that. So as you can see, the initial entry would have been here based on this rejection. But I always try to find why a chart rejects where it did. So it obviously rejected because of this area of resistance, all these wicks here. And that's why I don't go for the bottom of the wicks necessarily. I go for where there's the most action. So I have all this wicks caught, I have the tip of this wick caught, the tips of these wicks caught, this, and it all lines up with that type of entry. So that would have been my entry. Stop loss will be above the previous high, or maybe a little bit, right there, above this previous high. So this is the next high. And the trade will just be take profit 1 to close the gap. So stop loss will go there. Take profit will be just to close the initial gap. So actually what I think I'll do is take profit 1 will be to close this gap. And take profit 2 will be to close the full gap. That's what I'll do. I think I like how that looks better. So there, and then this one to go all the way down. So obviously that's not the entry that we will get. I'm gonna have to go and look at how the market opens later on today, or see what it's looking like on Monday morning. Maybe it'll push one more time to get here, but I think because just the way it made a higher high, and then a lower high, I think it's getting ready to drop pretty soon. So going off of where the chart is at right now, we have a little bit over a 1-to-1 with take profit 1 and almost a 2 risk reward ratio for take profit 2. All right, now moving into AUD USD. As you can see on the daily chart, we are in an uptrend. So I will be looking for buys. I'm just going to use this to notify that we are in an uptrend. Not really using that trend line. But so I'm going to move in. Actually, zoom back out to the daily chart and look for our zone to get in. So as you see, we recently broken above this high. And we're just going to wait for it to come back down. Never want to force your opinion on the market. The market's going to do what it's going to do. And typically, when we break above, even you'll see here, it comes back down just to retest and then takes off. So all I'm going to be doing is waiting for it to break above, come back down, test here, or even test this, small high, but somewhere in this zone. And using that to get an entry to go up and look for a zone above. So obviously if it drops immediately, it'll create a gap. So the first take profit will always be just to close that gap, just to be safe. So for example, this would be the first take profit. I'm gonna zoom into the 4-hour chart. So if it does decide to drop now to go retest that low, test that high, then we'll be getting here. Stop loss is going to be a little bit below. It's going to be based on this high and then these lows here. May go a little bit lower just to be safe. Yeah, so looking to get in here. So the first take profit has a risk reward of 1.7 or 1.8, and if that gets hit, then I always look to go to see what the next move is above just closing the gap. So where would it go after it closes the gap? Should the trend continue? So my next take profit would have to be, this would be closing the gap. I think the next one that makes sense is just going to close this gap here. Actually go a little bit lower. So I was going to base it off this high. I actually decided to base it off this low right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can really see. So rather than going way up here, I just decided to go here because this is the next level of resistance. Set my take profit there. So puts me right here, almost a 2.5 risk reward ratio. So now, as you see, like the more you do it, the quicker this process becomes. This is really all trading is. People ask me, like, how long does it take? This is all the work that you're putting in. You do this once a week. You wait on the setups to happen, and then that's it. So here, if you zoom in, you'll see that we are in an uptrend for the time being. So I'm just gonna just use my trend line. I'm actually gonna connect these the way you're supposed to. So uptrend, find our zones. So as you see, we've broken above this high. Aiming for the next level of resistance will be 1 to close that gap. And then after that, the next level of resistance is in here based on these resistance here, support here. So if we wait or zoom into the 4-hour chart, you'll see that it's actually coming down to test already. So this should be a position that we can open as soon as the market opens. First take profit is just to close that gap. Put my stop loss just a little bit below all these lows. If it can break past these lows, I don't think it'll do it in one candle, so I'm gonna go to the hour. If it can break past these lows, like I said, I don't think it'll do it in one candle. It would definitely probably do something more so like this. It would break it, then come back to retest, and then once it got there, I'd probably go ahead and get out, and then it continued downwards. So once it breaks past here, like I said, I think probably more so like this. Yeah, because we'd be testing these lows. So if it does something like this, then I'm already gonna know to get out. But yeah, I think that's a good take profit, good stop loss for take profit 1. Gonna keep that same stop loss for my take profit 2. Only difference is I'll be looking for the trend to continue, meaning that my take profit will be a little bit higher up. Same stop loss. Zoom out to the 4-hour. Let's get this over some, and my take profit is way up here. So that'd be a little bit over a 4 risk reward ratio. That'd be a great trade if we can get that to go this week. That'll put us almost halfway to our FTMO challenge being completed. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I wasn't able to go through all my charts just simply because I didn't want the video to get too long. We're already sitting around 15 minutes. But like I said, I will be posting all of my trades in my free Telegram group as a part of the FTMO trial series. So if you want to up to date and informed on all the trades that I take, you can definitely join that for free. The FTMO series will continue to go on. I think that'll be my next post that I make on this channel. Definitely drop a like, drop a comment, and Hopefully you guys learned something. Just being able to see how I mark up my trades, the process that it takes, and hopefully you guys can really just see how simple that trading really can be. It's really just break, retest, enter. It's all about just staying committed, and you keep working and improving and just figuring out what works and what doesn't. You're bound to be a successful trader. That's just my little bit of motivation at the end of the video. And that's it for me this week. I'm out of there.